E o Zig?
Miss Bow, I find it vaguely offensive that you would even think that I know anyone named Ziggy.
Ah, ele usa outro nome, é? Ele deve usar outro nome aqui.
Now there's a lady who truly supports the arts. A real patron, that old girl.
Esse daqui não tem muitas coisas negativas. E o museu? Me fala do museu.
The Lion Decker is simply fantastic, Miss Bow. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
E o roubo?
What do you make of the theft of the dagger, Dr. Carrington?
It's simply beastly. What is the world coming to when crepuscular ruffians can invade a museum like Visigoths?
Do you have any idea who could have done such a thing?
Not at all. But if I did, I'd be tempted to teach the brute a lesson.
Ok, ele parece inocente. Não sei. Vamos ver. Conversar com esse mano. Me fala do Wolf.
I find Mr. Heimlich to be most intimidating. He seems to enjoy looming over people.
Esse cara tem a língua presa e eles literalmente transcreveram a língua presa dele nas legendas. É incrível.
I do not know Ziggy very well, but he makes me uneasy. His eyes remind me of a jackal's. I met him briefly at the party, then avoided him the rest of the time.
Esses caras eu não sei direito quem que eles são. Deixa eu ver se fala.
This snappily dressed
Like
man looks like an
accountants.
accountant. This short, blustery man reminds you vaguely of President Roosevelt.
É, parece que eles são só aristocratas ricaços que participam do evento, mas que não tem nenhuma conectividade real com o museu. Vamos ver.
The Countess is quite a colorful lady. She seems to enjoy life to the fullest, does she not? Just between you and me, she scares me a little.
Tá,
Why
outro que
is
tem
that,
medo
Mr.
dela.
Nagia?
Well, she's just too enthusiastic for me, I suppose.
Outro que tem medo dela. Vamos ver. Assalto.
Mr. Nagia, would you have any idea who might have stolen the dagger of Amon Ra?
No, but whoever did should be boiled alive. He should be fed to hungry crocodiles. His guts should be strung from the pyramids. He should...
Nossa senhora.
Oh, excuse me. I get a little passionate on the subject.
Quite all right, Mr. Nagia. I understand.
Tá, a Mandanji é um cara meio estranho. Um cara meio estranho. Pelo visto ele gosta de Egyptology.
Are you an Egyptologist, Mr. Nagia?
No, not professionally. I have always been interested in the history of my country and made a point of studying it. I am particularly interested in ancient Egyptian religions.
Tá. É interessado na cultura egípcia, principalmente religiosa. Eu tô lançando aqui, gente. Religioso. Ok, ele é um cara bem esquisitinho. Vou perguntar do museu pra ele.
The Lion Decker is a beautiful museum, Miss Bow, but I do not approve of the spoiling of my ancestors' tombs, much less the wanton display of their bodies and their personal effects.
Aqui. Interessante, o Nager desaprova da exposição. Quer dizer, ele desaprova como a exposição foi feita. É bom saber disso. E você, Dr. Ah, eu esqueci de perguntar do Pippin pra ele.
A thousand curses on that man! He defiled the tombs of my sacred ancestors for his own personal glory. He doesn't care a fig for what's right and what's wrong. His own evil deeds will catch up with him, though. Just wait and see.
Eu dei o Pippin. É bom saber disso. Muito bom saber disso. E o Archibald?
I have heard a great deal about Mr. Carrington, but I do not know him very well. We have only spoken once or twice, but he seems like a cultured, charming fellow.
E eu acho que eu não perguntei pra ele, né, Agora que eu vi o Carrington, eu marquei errado. O Dr. Carrington é o Archibald, que é casado com a mulherzinha lá. Vou perguntar do Pippin.
The fellow has quite an overinflated ego. He's got a legitimate reason for it, I suppose.
Eu perguntei da esposa dele pra ele.
I'm really very busy, Miss Bow. I don't have time to cover the same.
Só pode perguntar uma vez, interessante. Eu só achei estranho que não marcou o nome desse cara.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss.
Good evening.
Eu achei estranho que não marcou o nome dele no... Deixa eu salvar aqui, vai. Eu achei estranho que não marcou o nome dele aqui. Não marcou. O... MZNG. Estranho. Vamos perguntar desse aqui.
Dr. Carrington is a fine chap. Used to be in charge of the British Museum, you know. I ran into him several years ago when I visited the British Museum to consult with Dr. Butch. Seems odd that Dr. Carrington doesn't remember me, but I almost didn't recognize him either. He's getting old after all. Looks different. Memory's probably shot as well.
Ih, alguém tá salty, alguém tá nervosinho que não foi lembrado. E falei da Countess.
The Countess was married to the former president of the Legendado Museum, Sterling Waldorf Carlton. A good chap, but uninspired. Now she has her sights set on Dr. Carrington.
Que é o marido dela, né? Ela se casou por dinheiro, pelo visto. Interesseira. Essas mulheres interesseiras. Zig, me fala de Zig.
Rather an unfortunate name, I think.
Tá. Esse Zig realmente, tipo, ninguém gosta dele. Fala do...
Yes. Heimlich's the security chief here. Not a particularly good one, obviously, since the dagger was stolen right from under his nose. And he's rather too intense for my tastes.
De fato. Dá pra perguntar mais alguma coisa? O assalto, né?
You must be very upset about the burglary.
Quite so. If I ever find out who stole my dagger of Amon Ra, they won't live to regret it, I can assure you.
Oh my. Do you have any idea who would do such a thing?
I have my suspicions, but I need more proof before I subject him to the full force of my wrath.
Rima, ele acha que é um cara.
Those incompetents. Hardly. They couldn't even find any clues around the Dagger display.
Sounds like the burglar might have been a professional.
Perhaps. It's more likely the local constable couldn't find a clue if it jumped up and bit him on the bum.
Incompetente. Incompetente essa polícia. Ok. Me fala do museu.
With a little work, I can turn the Legendado into a world-class museum. But that can wait a few months until they decide to make me the president. Dr. Carrington will have to find other employment, of course, but I'm sure some lesser museum would be happy to have him on their staff.
Estava escrevendo aqui, muito boa informação. A Yvette Delacroix e o Pippin Carter, os dois querem ser presidente do museu. Muito bom marcar isso aí. Então, Najee odeia o Pippin e eu odeio a exposição dele. O Pippin não, o Najee é uma suspeita, né? Ele pode ter querido destruir com a exposição, roubando-a, já que ele desaprova. A Yvette se torna uma suspeita porque ela e o Pippin querem se tornar presidentes do museu, né? O que coloca aí um motivo, né? Uma motivação para querer, sei lá, causar o roubo, né? Da Dagger. O Archibald estranhamente não se importa com o roubo muito. A Countess, pelo visto, só se interessa pelo dinheiro e ela é meio suspeita. A Yvette, pelo menos, falou que a mulher é meio assassina. E o Ziggy é basicamente um mafioso, então, né? Me fala do Pippin.
Can't help yous with that, Toots.
O mafioso não fala absolutamente nada.
The new museum press? Stodgy old guy, but a fine chap. Yeah, that's it, a fine chap. Good man.
Meu Deus do céu, esse cara aí tá...
Question.
tá viajado no ácido esse mano aí. Me fala da Countess.
What makes you think I knows anything about a dame like her? She won't even have anything to do with me. I don't know anything about her. Now, why ask me?
That's odd. She seems to know you.
She did. What did she say? It ain't true. Listen, that old cow couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. I ain't taking the rap for her anyways. Now leave me alone before I calls the cops. Or somebody.
Eu acho que você não consegue chamar a polícia, não, querido. Se você chamar a polícia, você vai preso, né? Me fala do mafioso. Mafioso não. Do nazista. Não conhece? Nazista? Sei. Sei que não conhece. Seu parça. Tá, me fala do museu.
I know everything's not what it looks to be, but then, what is? Same with all these mocky-mocks. Look, appearances can be deceiving. Me, do I look like the brother of a famous Broadway producer? No, but I am.
Irmão de quem que ele é?
I know the dagger was heisted. I might even know who done it, but I ain't talking.
If you know, why won't you go to the police?
Que ele é mafioso.
All I got is a suspicion. I got nothing hard. Besides, what have the cops done for me lately?
This is in the interests of justice. Who are you trying to protect?
I'm trying to protect me. Now flip.
Ih, os mano é tudo esquisito. Tudo esquisito. Tudo.
There I was, standing on the hillside above the excavation in the Valley of the Kings, with the faithful Mahmud describing the dance of the seven veils to me in great detail, when a shout arose up from the workers below us. Sensing an important discovery at hand, since I have a sixth sense about these things, I scurried downhill to see that a step had been uncovered in the sand. It turned out to be the entrance to the temple of Amon Ra. I took the trowel from the Boskafir and cleared the sand away from the rest of the steps myself, revealing the entrance to the temple. The seal of the necropolis was intact on the door seal, indicating that the temple had not been disturbed. I knew that fate had brought me to the discovery I had been seeking for so long. Tireless after my exertion in clearing the staircase, I used a sledgehammer to break through the sealed doorway. Within lay the greatest accomplishment of my considerable career. Hidden within the darkness, untouched for thousands of years in the isolated temple, lay the magnificent dagger of Amon Ra, the greatest discovery of modern archaeology.
Good show.
Magnifique. Very impressive, Dr. Carter.
So, that's when you heisted it, right?
No, I didn't heist it, you annoying little man. I took it out of the temple and showed it to the workers, who immediately fell upon their faces, all 350 of them, to show respect for my accomplishment.
That's hard to believe, Dr. Carter. Egyptian workers have proudly worked the archaeological digs for many years. I would not think they'd exaggerate their respect for you to such an extent.
But then you weren't there, were you, Mr. Nagier?
Well, no, that's true.
And when was the last time you were in Egypt, Mr. Nagier? You seem to have lost some of your accent.
Well, it has been several years.
I thought as much.
Your discovery really was quite a remarkable achievement, Dr. Carter.
Was remarkable, Dr. Carrington? You mean it is a remarkable achievement. There has never been anything like it before.
O ego do cara tá no
Quite
céu, né?
so. Correction noted, Doctor.
If you will all be excusing me, I see a man I need to speak to.
Nossa.
Certainly, Miss Delacroix. Certainly.
Ok. Ok, amanhãzinha foi, a gente deu uma ouvidinha. Eu tinha certeza que daria pra gente ouvir a conversa dele. Tava muito suspeito esse grupinho aqui no meio, né? Bom, agora ela foi embora, né? E agora? Esqueci o que eu ia falar. Ah, já mudou a pessoa aqui. Que é esse agora?
It's a semi-happy... Hi, I'm Laura. Being snobbish high society types, these partygoers just ignore you entirely. The semi-happy partygoers just ignore you entirely, considering themselves high above your social standing. Since you're not a recognized member...
Ok, eu não consigo falar com esses caras, eles só estão de cenário.
Boy,
Opa.
did he bet? She's some dish, ain't she?
Yes, those French women really have something. I don't think my wife would ever have done it in a mummy case.
In my vast experience of women from different lands, I tend to agree with you, Mr. Nagier. I balked when a certain French woman suggested we have a deep conversation on the back of a dinosaur, but I was pleasantly surprised by the results.
Yes, Miss Delacroix is certainly the cat's pajamas, as the Americans would say.
Yeah, we does come up with some good sayings, don't we?
Quite.
Good Lord, I hadn't realized a woman was present. Please excuse us, Miss Bow.
Oh, I wasn't actually listening to you gentlemen, Dr. Carrington. I just happened to be standing here. Excuse me.
Ok, todos os caras aí querem papar Ivete da Croa. O que é essa gordinha aqui? O que é essa
You
tia
see
aqui?
a short, elderly woman
Deve
dressed
ser a
flamboyantly,
Kansas.
and you suspect expensively, and sporting a grotesque amount of makeup. In fact, when she speaks, you notice small flecks of base coat chipping off of her jowls and tumbling onto her furred collar.
Ixi. Acho que é a...
Hi, I'm Laura Bow, and I'm covering this event for the Tribune Society news column.
Good evening, Miss Bow. I'm the Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carlton. Please be sure to spell my name right in your story.
Oh, eu vou te matar. Vou salvar o jogo aqui, né? Acho que vou salvar em outro. Laura Bow no evento dos ricos. Eita. Dos ricos. Pronto. Posso te fazer umas perguntinhas de boninhas? Agora marcou o nome dela. Por que será? Não marcou o nome do cara. Me fala do Pippin Carter.
Ah, truly a man of great ambition and integrity,
Tá. Não tem muito o que falar dele. E o seu marido?
Dr. Carrington, I about him. I know very little about the man.
Quer dizer, né, marido? É o cara que ela tá
That's
se
odd.
encontrando.
I could have sworn Mr. Dorian said that you met Dr. Carrington in a taxi when he arrived on the Andrea Doria.
Yes, or whatever I did. I mean, yes, I did meet him that night. Our families are, old allies from the time of the War with Roses. I felt obliged to meet him upon his arrival. Noblesse oblige, you understand.
Acho que o Dr. Carter... que Carter não. Carrington tem uns gostos meio esquisitos com mulher. Tá. Essa é ela. Me fala do Zig, sei que você
He's a
conhece.
perfectly dreadful little fellow. Let's not discuss him.
Sim, concordo. Não vamos falar dele. Ele é horrível. Ele é viajado no ácido. Vamos falar do Wolf, então.
Oh, Mr. Heimlich is simply dreadful. I think his tiny taste of authority has gone to his little head. Don't you, Miss Bow?
Sim, ele é meio bizarro também. Só tem gente estranha nesse negócio. E aí, Ivete?
I am not interested in discussing that little trollop.
Ixi. Ixi, as treta aqui tá tensa. Todo mundo se odeia, né? E o museu?
I think the Lion Decker is simply divine, don't you?
E o robô?
What do you make of the theft of the Dagger of Amon Ra, Countess?
Oh, it's horrid. Simply horrid. What sort of creature would make off with a priceless work of art, I wonder?
Do you have any ideas about who it might have been?
Oh, my, no! I try not to associate with dreadful people, dear girl.
Deixa eu ver se eu ainda consigo escutar a conversa deles. Acho que não. Acho que acabou.
This man looks like he's very low.
Tá algo pra falar com vocês
Heard any
ainda?
good rumor?
Não. Agora eu consigo perguntar da Ivete.
Nice working, girl. I knew her when. Now she's a big hotshot museum, what do you call it? Back then, she was a streetwalker, if you catch my drift.
Não, foi uma prostituta. Vou colocar aqui, Ivete talvez. Ivete talvez tenha sido prostituta do Zig, mas eu só vou colocar talvez porque o Zig em si é meio doente, né? Então a chance dele tá errado e dele tá inventando história é bem grande.
Miss Yvette is a charming young lady, and so friendly. She seems genuinely interested in Egyptology. We had a long discussion about tombs one time.
Ok. Deixa eu perguntar de egiptologia pra ela.
Do you know much about Egyptology, Countess?
Only a little, dear girl. I find it quite diverting.
Ok, não sabe muita coisa. E esses daqui são só de cenário, não vão conversar comigo. Ok, eu acho que não tem muito mais o que eu fazer aqui. Vai tá peruzão aí atrás, agora o tamanho do negócio, maior do que o tiozinho aqui, que os dois tiozinhos, com os três tiozinhos, se botar os três aqui, peru ainda é grande. Tá, vamos ver. Ah, dá pra vir pra esse lado. Olha só que beleza. Quem que são esses daqui?
You see a tall Irish gentleman with red hair who acts like a cop. You eye this woman with a certain amount of...
É a Ivete.
It's a happy part. It's a
Os outros são cenário. Vou falar com esse cara. Esse cara é novo.
Ryan, I'm having the hardest of times keeping my hands off you.
Not here, Yvette. There's too many people.
They are
Ixi.
not important. You are the most powerful man here, my Ryan.
Ixi.
What about that Carrington guy? He's president of this museum.
The doctor, he is old and weak. You are the young one, and strong.
Novo?
And what would you be wanting, Miss Bow?
Oh, well, I thought I heard you call my
Novo,
name.
esse cara tem cara de
You
ter
must have been hearing
50
things.
anos.
I didn't even mention your name.
Oh, sorry. I've got to be going now. Excuse me.
Só tô eu. E o engraçado é que eu faço da forma mais discreta, né? Ixi, mudou as pessoas aqui.
You must be Dr. Pata Sheptut Smith. Nice gold ankh you're wearing. This is quite a party, isn't it?
Quem que é esse cara?
Distasteful to celebrate thievery in the name of science. The artifacts in this museum's Egyptian collection do not belong here. They belong in Egypt.
That's only your opinion.
It is the truth. And the thieves who rob Egypt of its ancient treasures will find death waiting for them. Amon-Ra will have his revenge.
I see. Well, nice weather we're having.
Tá, ele desaprova a exposição e desaprova o roubo. Bom, até aí, né?
How are you, Detective O'Reilly?
Ah, é o O'Reilly!
Just fine, lassie. You're looking
Nossa, ele tá
lovely
muito
this evening.
pior. Ele tá muito pior. A Ivete tava dando em cima do detetive. Ivete tava dando em cima do detetive, que ela disse que o cara era novo, mas ele tem cara de 50 anos, mas tudo bem. O detetive O'Reilly. Suspeito. Será que é por isso que o O'Reilly não tá muito dentro da investigação?
It's a happy party.
Tá, aqui são só personagens que não importam. Deixa eu perguntar. O'Reilly, o que você tem mais pra dizer do Pippin Carter?
That fella is just too big for his britches. That's all I have to say. Someone ought to take him down a notch or two.
Ok, ele é bem egocêntrico.
He's got too many brains, that one. He thinks he's better than us all.
Ele não gosta dos dois. E a Condessa.
Now there's a slippery old bat. If she's royalty, then I'm Rudolph Valentino.
E o Ziggy?
That man is a human weasel. Stay away from him, lassie.
Sim. Que mais? Wolf.
He's not much of a security guard, if you're asking me. How could I trust a man who allowed a thief to waltz right in here and steal one of the exhibits if he didn't do it himself? He hasn't even got an alibi for the night of the burglary, since he was here alone.
Isso é muito interessante saber. O Heinrich, o nazista. O Heinrich. Difícil escrever o nome dele. Estava sozinho na noite do roubo. Não tem álibi. Isso coloca ele como um principal suspeito, né? Ele pode ter facilitado o roubo. E a Ivete?
Now there's a lovely girl. A real lady, don't you know?
A real lady. Ou ela é a real lady porque ela te dá coisas.
It's all right if you like that sort of thing. I think it's a waste of time myself. I'd rather be down at the pub knocking one back with me buddies.
Ok, o detetive é o cara da festa, né? O cara da balada. Não imaginaria isso, né? Mas e o assalto?
If you ask me, missy, they're blowing the whole thing out of proportion. Begorra, you'd think that something important had been stolen.
You don't consider a priceless Egyptian artifact to be important?
Listen, girlie, if I chased down every petty theft that occurred within the nastier segments of the population, I'd be working 30 hours a day.
I would hardly call the Lion Decker Museum a nasty segment of the population, Mr. O'Reilly.
Ixi,
And if you're
chamou na
referring to our
chincha.
Egyptian visitors, shame on you. And don't call me girly.
Ixi.
By me father's whiskers, you're a fiery one, Miss Laura. All right, I won't call you girly, little lassie.
Ixi, chamou na chincha, hein? E egiptologia, você
Do
conhece?
you know anything about Egyptology, Detective O'Reilly?
Enough to know it's a bloody waste of time. Sifting through all those old bones and rotting tombs. Better to let the dead rest, don't you know?
Ixi. Tá, esse cara é um panaca. E isso porque ele tá conversando com o cara árabe do lado dele, né?